Once you have invited someone, go ahead and drop it in the comments that you are done. Once you have invited someone, good evening. Hello, what's up, squad? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hey, 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 hello. Hey, Money Squad. Hey, welcome to Get Your Money Right. I am Caritha Taylor. For anybody on the squad who doesn't know me, I'm super excited to be in this space with you again tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and start us off with a prayer, and then we're going to get into it. So Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this space, God. We thank you for this amazing company and amazing squad that you have given us to be part of, God, not by accident, but full of intention for everything that we were going to need that we didn't even know, God, for the product that released today, for the promotions that released today, Father God. Lord, you are always thinking of us. So we thank you for thinking of us, God. We're going to spend this time focusing on being better stewards of what you have given us, that we may bring glory and honor to the kingdom. So God, please be in the midst, or maybe may we recognize your presence, God, as we go forward with ideas and thoughts and actions on how we can be better stewards of what you have entrusted to us. In your son, Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. Amen. Thank God. All right. Yeah. So if you were on last time, if you were on the first Get Your Money Right, just drop a 1 in the comments for me. Drop a 1 so I know who we have. If you were on the first time, drop a 1 in the comments. So this is a conversation. Along with Rachel, we shared some things from just our personal experiences. I am not a financial advisor or anything of that sort. I have learned some lessons through trial and error, through failures. And so we are sharing those lessons with you. That maybe you can move forward from those things faster, better, bigger than we did. So that's it. So we are going to go ahead and get started. So I want y'all to light up the comments, interact with us, because we're going to have some questions for you. Sorry, my invite was asking some questions. So the first thing I want to do is I want to read a scripture. So I want to start off with this scripture because I want you to kind of grab hold of this scripture, keep it close to you. And it's 1 Timothy 6, verses 17 through 19. And I'm going to read from the English Standard Version, and it says, "As for the rich in this present age, charge them not to be haughty, nor to set their hopes on the uncertainty of riches, but on God, who richly provides us with everything to enjoy. They are to do good, to be rich in good works, to be generous and ready to share, thus storing up treasure for themselves as a good foundation for the future, so that they may take hold of that which is truly life." Okay, that was 1 Timothy 6, 17 through 19. And I'm going to go ahead and hit this Zechariah since it's there.
1 Timothy, say it again.
Yep, 1 Timothy 6, 17 through 19.
Got it, thank you.
Okay, and then Zechariah 4 and 10, I'm going to read that from the English Standard Version as well. "For whoever has despised the day of small things shall rejoice, and shall see the plumb line in the hand of Zerubbabel." So we're going to get started, squad. Listen, so last time we talked a lot about budgeting, right? We even took some time to write down the things that should be in our budget. And hopefully you then went and spent some time really fine tuning your budget to the penny. How much do you spend on everything? So I want you to, if when you did your budget, you were surprised by what you found, I just want you to drop a me in the comments. If you were surprised by how much you had, how much you spent, how much you don't have, however it worked out for you, if you were surprised. And so we really talked about, if you tell your money where to go, then you have a better chance of actually meeting your goals. But then we also have this business that most of us started to make extra for whatever the reason is. But if we don't know how much extra we need, what we need extra for, then we may not be placing our money in the right place. Okay, so when you did your budget, the intent is that we then use that to, one, prioritize tithing. right? Prioritize giving God a portion of what he has already entrusted to us. And it's important. There's another scripture, and I'll probably maybe just give the reference later, that sometimes I know I felt this way, and I think I shared this before. Growing up poor, I used to wonder why God was like punishing me. And once I got saved, why it didn't just change? Why didn't that just end? Like, why did I still have to be poor if I believed in God? But understanding that who he's building us to be through every trial and tribulation. So in everything that we go through, everything we experience, be it good or bad. So mountain high, valley low, he's building us up, building up the character and the perseverance for the role that we have in this life and in this world, the purpose that we have. So don't despise your small beginnings. Know that God is building you and he's building your faith. And the first thing that you need to do is to be faithful in how you give. So imagine this, and I think Rachel shared this either on the last one or when we were talking about dream boards, but setting your tithing goal. So imagine that people know that you are blessed. They wouldn't really know this. So please, I hope that you aren't just going telling people what you're tithing, but that you would be blessed. You would know that you're blessed by the way that you tithe, not by what clothes you wear, what your house looks like, or what your car looks like, but that you would know that you are blessed by the way that you're able to give into the kingdom, into the storehouse, so that other people would be saved, so that ministry can happen, so that outreach can happen. So how do you say, God, thank you that I'm blessed, and I'm going to show how blessed I am by the way that I tithe, by the way that I give, by the way that I give offering into the church. Okay, your tithes and your offering. Bring your tithes and your offering. And so no shade. If you started tithing and you hadn't tithed before, more power to you. Like if you have graduated from like the Sunday school giving, like you take $1 to church so that you can give. If you have graduated from that, I commend you just from a personal level, but remember that this is between you and God. It has nothing to do with any other person. It's between you and God. Unless, you are married, and then the way that you give is for you all collectively. Okay. So setting those goals, knowing what you have so that you can prioritize that. So thank you, Travia, for sharing that you started tithing this year. I hope that just by the way that we live, the way that we, the things that we talk about, and then the way that we live, the things that you see out of your leadership, that more people are encouraged to give into the kingdom, into the church, into the place that you serve. So that's one of the ways that we get to serve the kingdom, is by giving back to God a very small portion of what he has given to you. So you know what? I won't take anything for granted. So if you, maybe you've never tithed before. So I tithe off of my gross income, and I tithe 10% of that. So we'll do a quick math exercise. So if you started this business to make $500 a month, say you're Ruby, you're making on average $500 a month. And so your tithe of that 500 gross is $50. Okay. $50, 50. And that is the first thing that you want to do when you get paid. And now in this digital age, you can actually do that. It used to be you had to like write a check and wait for Sunday. Wait for Sunday, hold your offering up and walk it up to the front. But now it's probably on an app. Okay. Or something you can text to give and do that very quickly. Really hold them up and bless them. You're going to pray with it in the air. But make sure that, that you're figuring out how to prioritize that. What does that mean for your life? Is it an alarm on the 15th, or when we get paid early and you see Rachel post in Money Squad that we got paid, or somebody posted we got paid early, that you make it your intention when you see what you got paid to go ahead and pay your tithes. So beyond that, it is, okay, now what God has given you to be a good steward over is to build a foundation for your life. And unfortunately, a lot of us have a foundation in debt. And let me tell you, it's shaky. It's like, what did you build your house on? And if you've built your house on debt, meaning your life, everything is about credit cards and is about credit lines, not about cash, then you are on a shaky foundation. So the good news, though, is that that foundation can be repaired. It just takes discipline and step by step. So with that, I want Travia to, I'm not sure what settings we're on, but I want Travia to jump in and talk about starting your emergency fund.
Hey everyone. Okay, so this is really good. I'm excited to share my testimony. So I was on the last Money Right. Hopefully a lot of you were on, but I want you to interact with me in the chat. So drop, let's see, a 3. Drop a 3 if you feel like you don't have that good of a relationship with money. And I want you to be vulnerable. I know I can't be the only one. So drop a 3. Okay, yeah, that was me. So last Money Right, I learned so many tactical skills. Rachel was talking about like Ally Bank, and I pretty much just downloaded the app and I went for it. Like Karitha, I literally just went for it. I don't know. I just felt convicted to move. Like budgeting has been something that has been on my mind. This business, I don't know why I feel so nervous. Probably because I'm talking about my pockets. Jesus. Listen,
The pocketbook.
but honestly, like even when I started this business, like one of the first books that I read was You're a Bad A at Making Money. And that book was literally all about just reformulating that relationship we have with money. You know, I grew up in a home where my dad, he had a really bad relationship with money. And I think a lot of my habits kind of came from him. And I'm sorry if it makes me a little shaky and emotional, but it's true, you know, using all of his money for drugs, like using all of his money to pay for things that had nothing to do with me. So growing up, every dollar that I saw, I felt like I had to spend. And I either felt like I had to spend it because it was burning a hole in my pocket or it was going to be taken from me. So it might be some of you on here where your parents might have taken money from you. And I'm just, oh Jesus, I'm being super vulnerable. But this savings account is so much more than God. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. This savings account is so much more than $20 here and there. So that's number one. If you're in a place where you feel like you have to spend every dollar, you're in a place of desperation, I encourage you to utilize all the ways this business has blessed us to make money in multiple ways, y'all. My sample cash is now an immediate deposit into my savings. And this isn't like one of those savings, like I had a savings account, had a bad relationship with it, like my bank around the corner, easy transfer, easy ATM, in and out, you know, but this bank account that I have on my phone, like it's kind of a little more concrete, you know, a transfer might take like 30 days on you. So it's not that easy. So now when I'm making sample cash and I'm getting the fast start bonuses, y'all, they're going straight into my savings account. And something I realized, like doing these Zooms, y'all, I was spending money I had no business spending. And y'all, we make so much money here. And sometimes we can be so ungrateful and we don't even realize what's right in front of our faces. So I opened my account in October. I didn't have any money to put in it. I didn't have any money to put in it. Like I spent all my diamond money, y'all. But in November, I decided to change that. And I started putting in my sample cash. I started depositing those fast starts. So now I have $355.95. I'll say it again, $355.95. And I'm so proud of that because that's only 2 months. 2 months. And this is something I had prolonged doing for so long because I was just spending all my money, y'all. Spending all my money. But God has truly, he's changed my life. He is breaking that generational curse with me. And it feels so good. And I really believe that's why I went diamond this year. I've been tithing, even if you can only spare, even if your 10% is $2, like for real, like tithe and just do it and God will bless you. So that's a little bit of my testimony, my 355, but I'm looking forward to just keep building on it. I'm loving the system that I have. So I would recommend Ally Bank or Ally Bank, whatever, Rachel put me on. And it's not too far fetched. Like, download the app, get going. It's easy. Open up a savings account. Even if you only have $5, y'all, I opened up the account. I didn't have no money, but I committed to opening up the account, and I was geeked to put something in it. And now that I'm watching it stack and stack and stack, I can actually be proactive with my money. So rather than it just sitting in my account, it's like now I have something to look forward to. So yeah, I mean, Rachel, you've been seeing my posts. I've been talking about, just putting on, like, showing that Black women have money in the bank. Like, my parents, they didn't have money in the bank, but my grandpa did. And if y'all know, like, if y'all have grandparents or great grandparents, they saved. They saved a lot. That's why a lot of people run to grandma and them when they're in trouble. My grandpa has been a great example for me. He tried to beat me over the head with all this budget and stuff, but I come from where I come from. But now he sees the change in me too. And he says to me, even around the house, like, Travia, I feel like you're growing up. I feel like you're maturing. Like, he says that to me, and it just fills my heart. So I'm not gonna talk forever. Hopefully I took my 2-minute remarks. But yeah, that's a little bit.
Oh my goodness, that is so, so, so incredible. Like that, look, let me just give another perspective. Christmas just passed, and you just read us the amount in your savings account, because so many people emptied whatever accounts they had, whatever extra they had, and went into debt to get through Christmas. Travia, that is so awesome. That's incredible. I love it. And I think we talked about this last time too, just really getting to the root of your money mindset. And that part, you know what? I never ever thought about that. But I grew up that way. And I know so many people who whenever they got something, a drug addicted parent in my case was coming for it. So you spend it. Like, that's wow. Thank you so much. That is incredible. That's an incredible testimony. But it takes getting to the root, because quite frankly, you can be blessed with a lot of money, but if you never get to the root and understand how to get beyond that, you're just going to be in the same cycle, right? Anybody like that? Drop it in the comments. Drop me in the comments if you have come upon, I don't know if it's tax season or whatever, or even in this business where you've promoted and made a lot of money and then lost it or spent it, and then realized my relationship with money is just bad. Right. So I put in the comments, right, like the Kurt Franklin song, Hello Fear, right? It's just like, hello money. Please allow me to reintroduce myself. Okay. Please allow me to reintroduce myself. And that's probably something that many of us, or probably all of us, need to journal about. Hello money. Please allow me to reintroduce myself. And reintroducing yourself with all of the things that we understand about it now, or the things that we want to understand, because maybe we're not there yet. So absolutely, man, thank you so much for that, Travia. So I wanted you guys to drop in the comments, what are some creative ways you have come up with to save? Creative ways, right? So I know last year, Breon dropped it, I think, for the diamond and above, right? Weekly savings amounts. Sometimes you might save your coins if we were actually going out spending money. Anybody have a coin jar in their house? Okay. Saving, different creative ways to do it. Man, Travia just gave us some perspective though, because she said all of my sample cash money goes into my savings account. So you can literally, this business is literally giving you the ability to create savings without having to really change anything else in your life, just work your business. But then think about, you did your budget. So if you're like me, you looked at it and some of it ticked you off. Some of it made you mad, right? Like, how many lights can we turn off? Right? How can we turn this cable off? Can I change my phone plan? right? How many of you looked at like your budget and thought, how do I reduce some of these bills? Like I'm seriously on a mission to reduce bills. Like I'm tired of it. Okay. I'm tired of the bills. But you looked at that and you can find some things to eliminate, find some bills to eliminate so that you can save and give yourself some breathing room. Subscriptions. Okay. How many of you looked at your bank account summary and saw these subscriptions that you haven't used? Okay. How many of you still paying for a gym membership? I told them I donated enough to my gym. I donated enough to their cause because it was a donation because I ain't used nothing. Okay. There are a lot of things that you can look at. If you do your budget, it gives you so much more opportunity to find ways to save, but look at your business for what it is with gratitude that you can literally set a goal. We're going into 2021. What if you set a goal to save your fast starts, to save your sample cash and tie it to something? And I can promise you, like Travia, when that money starts growing, it gets addictive. Right? You just want to see it keep growing. Like, I don't need that because I want this money in the bank. You really want to be able to step back and say, I have money, not I had, not I make money. I have money, because that's where your power, that's where your buying power comes from, is really having money. So while we're building credit and how do I increase my credit? And yes, you need those things in this life right now. But you can get to a place where it doesn't matter what your credit is because you're cashing out. You don't need my social security number because I'm about to get this wire transfer from the bank. Okay, that's it. We all can have a life like that. Actually, that's what I'm putting in my letter, my dear money letter, right? Let me reintroduce myself. You pay for everything in my life, not credit. Okay, I love that. Yes, let me go grab this cashier's check. So thank you so much, Travia, for sharing that. So you're saving, you need to be ready for a rainy day. Here's why, because if you're not prepared for it, then you are inevitably going to go into debt. And then for some of us, I didn't read the whole comment, but I saw somebody put something in there about depression. Our money struggles show up in so many areas of our life. We're impatient with the people in our lives. You may be impatient with your children, with your spouse. Everything is just irritating because you don't have you're trying to figure out constantly how you're going to make ends meet, how you're going to have enough gas in the car, enough food in the house, right? Or your kids asked to do something and you get mad because they asked to do it. And it ain't got nothing to do with the fact that they asked to do it, but more so the fact that you can't afford it. And so we just need to own those things because we have a gift right now in our hands that can change all of that for us. It can change all of it. So now I want Annie to unmute and talk to us about paying off debt. So we're saving, we've got our savings account, and now we're going to look at how do we use our extra money to pay off debt.
Okay. Hey guys. So, yes. So paying off debt is crucial. Okay. So you rather be the lender instead of the borrower. And for me, I was borrowing and borrowing and it didn't matter. I think my habits came from just filling voids. How many of you guys, some people it's food, some people it's retail therapy, you're just collecting these things. And I think God was in a setup for this because he was like, I want you to know you don't need all these things to be fulfilled. It's within me, but I need you to see that your habits, aren't of me, and this is my money that I'm lending to you and I need you to do right with it. And so coming in, just needing an extra $500 because I was literally living off credit cards. If y'all have credit cards and you had to swipe it for a bill, go ahead and drop it in the comments because it's real out here. Sometimes you just don't have it. And so you have that credit card as your backup instead of learning about the savings. I didn't really learn about the savings. I grew up with a mom that was, single and didn't have money to put away. She was paying bills. So that's all I knew. And that's what it was. And so I pretty much adapted to those habits. And so just really swiping credit cards, you guys, to fill voids. And I was digging a hole. Then I didn't know it. And what I had to do is realize that with this company that I can make money multiple ways. So as you take your savings, you create a savings with your cash, this residuals allow me to pay off some bigger debts. So I had to get really disciplined with it. I had to write down who are these credit card people that I owe, because they calling me and I need them to get them off my line. Okay. How much, what's the APR rate? How much do I owe them? And so I put them into, I wrote them down in a notebook. And so I had to see, who was I paying the most? What was the APR rate? What's the highest? Who am I going to, you know what I'm saying? So either I'm going to do a snowball effect and I'm going to go smallest to the biggest, or I'm going to do the avalanche effect where I'm going to take the biggest, APR rate and tackle that first. But it really clicked when the money started to roll in that I didn't need these things. And a lot of times we get caught up in the things. And a lot of times we get caught up in the fluff, and it's not for the fluff, y'all. And it's, and a lot of times we spend off how we feel. And so this is what I want you guys to say before this diamond shows up in your account and beyond: get your money habits right. So with the debt, with all your debts, write down your debts. Who do you owe? Credit card, medical bills, whatever. Get those aligned, and so you can start paying them off. So I didn't really have a savings at first because I was so aggressive with my debt. I decided I had to say a lot of no to a lot of things. And I was okay with saying no to a lot of things because it allowed me to pay off $25,000 of credit card debt here in 1 year. But it's doable, but it was laser focused. It was, this is what's going to give me the freedom. And the thing is creating that plan that this is what it is. And I have to say no. I have to say no and be okay with saying no. And just like Rachel was saying the other day about how we eat out, like stop eating out, cook, eat something at home. You got food at home. Stop making that an option. Let your money give you options instead of requirements. Let your money give you options, right? And so being able to pay off that kind of debt, I was able to allocate funds where I needed to go because I allowed my money to work for me instead of me working for it. And then it just all kind of fell in line. So with the debt, you guys, all debt, I have medical debt, like all your debts, all of it. You have to write it out. You have to face it. You have to face it, and you have to say, okay, I have poor management habits. Okay, but I can change the graph here. Okay, you have to be aware and you have to profess it out there. Say, listen, I know I got bad management, but I can go ahead and change this here. And so you have to realize when you're doing that budget, are you spending more than you making? Because that's not it. That you need to be able to live off a percentage. And then after that, you can start allocating funds to your savings account as you're paying off debts. But then as I was going, I was very aggressive with my debt. I didn't really save a lot on the front end. I was more aggressive paying off debt because I wanted to get out of that hamster wheel. If you guys are on a hamster wheel, I've been there. Like Christmas, there was a Christmas that I had 69 cents in my account. So I was swiping to make this Christmas work. And then from that day, I decided that I would never be in that position again. Okay. And so it was just a deciding factor, y'all. It's a decision. It's a true decision and a discipline. It's not going to be easy, but you got to continue to surround yourself with people that are not trying to chase things. You have to surround your people with people that want more and want to live by cash. Like living by cash was not reality in my growing up, and a lot of ours can align, right? But you can. If you can't pay cash for it, you don't need it. You don't need it. And you have to be okay with saying, you know what, right now I can save to get that. Like, that's fine. It can wait. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be an upgrade later. Just know it's going to be even better by the time by the time you go pay for it. So you have to make sure that your priorities are in alignment with where you're trying to go, because here it's a debt-free company, y'all. He wants us to be debt-free. They want us to be debt-free. And so we have to break the curse. We have to take these shackles off of us being these borrowers and start being the lenders. Okay. And so it just starts with us. It starts with your attitude. It starts with your habits. It just starts and it's going to follow. So get those books out, write down those APR rates, who you owe, when you owe them, and then get your plan of action and make sure that you're allocating those funds to going so. And as you're going ahead and you're growing your residual income, that's your extra. Put that on your debt. That's not your bill money. You figured out your survival money. Your 9 to 5 is taking care of your survival. This is your extra to take care of that Chase card. This extra 500 take care of that medical bill that they keep calling me about. Like, stop doing that. This is your extra. Okay. And so if you're mad about your extra, increase your efforts. increase your efforts so your extra can be better. You know what I'm saying? So you have to make sure, Chase be on that line. I need to get off. So, so yeah, you want to go ahead and make sure you're allocating these extra funds to those extra things that are haunting you every day, because you have to break the curse, y'all. So I'm excited for y'all to start having your living spree in 2021. It starts now.
Yes, living spree in 2021. That
I'm sorry, I gotta say something what she said. So I guess I should come on camera. Huh? How do I do that for myself? I can do it for everybody else. Okay. Okay. So I wanted to say this because my bishop told me this a while ago. That was so good. And what Annie said pretty much it cued it. So what people don't realize, and this is something that I didn't even look because I circumvented it. I didn't look at the big picture, right? So you have to look at the big picture. So for example, if you make copays when your kids go to the doctors, if you, I don't know, like bills are coming, like you have bills coming every single month, and you should be prepared for the bills that are coming. And you should actually be in the place that you don't have to wait on a check to pay bills. Right. So even when I think about like going grocery shopping every single week, I think a part of the poor mentality is this is the only time I'm going to get food stamps. So let me just get everything that I need to get, opposed to I can go grocery shopping every week. I'm not waiting on a paycheck check. It's not, if I don't get the groceries right now, I won't have food. You know what I'm saying? So it's a total different mindset. So instead of being like somebody saying, hey, you want to go out to eat? And you're like, oh, I got $50 in my account. You don't have $50 in your account. Your website runs on Thursday. You know what I mean? Like you don't have $50 in your account. And so I think so many times we don't think ahead. Like what day does your auto ship run? Do you have that in your account right now plus some? Are you going to go to the store and spend it because you think you have open money when you really don't? What day is your credit card bill due? Do you know if you made an extra payment on your credit card, you wouldn't get charged the APR? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't get charged the principal. You know, you should be paying the principal, certain things like that. And so that changed my whole life because I remember my bishop said, he was like, you don't have extra money. You have bills on the way. Like you just got a bill in the mail. Like you right now, just because they gave you a due date doesn't mean that you got some time. Like you owe them. Like you straight up owe them money. So you don't have no extra money. And it was like, so I shouldn't have bought that trip because I do owe people money. Oh, I shouldn't have did that because it kind of just shifted my perspective, and so that just made me think about that when Annie said that. Because listen,
yeah, that whole, a couple things. Just I want to reiterate: if bill collectors are calling your phone and you have not written down what your debt is, if multiple bill collectors are calling your phone and you don't even know who they are, like you just ignoring the call, you need to, before this year ends, just own it, because you cannot get over it. Like you're not going to wake up to a windfall and then all of a sudden pay off all your debt and all of that stuff be over. It's probably not going to happen. Because honestly, even if you hit the lottery, you ain't going to do the right thing. You're just not, because you didn't deal with your money mindset before. And the only way to see how this business really, right. I have to play the lottery to win, but even if, sorry, I forgot. Oh, even if you have to be grateful for what we have in this business is what I'm trying to say. And one of the ways to do that is to know how it's going to change your life. Okay. How it's going to change your life. And so that is paying off debt. That is starting your savings account. That is using your extra for what you prayed for. You prayed to have extra, to be able to say yes to things, to be able to pay off your debt, to be able to answer the phone when people call, right? Like that, those are the reasons why you started. So use the money to do those things. And then that is the other thing I think Rachel just put in the comments, sometimes just because you have it doesn't mean that you should go trick it off, right? And that is really creating a plan for what you're going to do. Okay. So I'm going to let y'all in on something. I don't think Rachel cares, right? So Rachel has been using the Peloton app, and she's going to get a bike or a tread or whichever one. Okay. Rachel, I'm sure, could go get a Peloton right now and not even blink. So you might ask yourself, well, why doesn't she have one? Because shouldn't people with money just get what they want when they want it? Right? Or new AirPods, Lords. um, but when you are focused on your goals, paying off debt, saving, blessing other people, then you are forced to align your priorities. And so, yes, she will get a Peloton, or if something better comes out before then, she's going to get whatever it is, but it's going to be in the timing of her keeping her priorities aligned. Right. And that's what we should all strive to be. And so when you look at anybody, because I know I'm not the only one, anybody ever look at a rich person and be like, man, why their shoes toe up? Like, wait a minute, you make way too much money to be out here busted. Okay. But they rich. Their bank account says they're rich, not their paycheck. Okay. Their bank account says that they're rich. And we want to be bank account rich. We want to be investment rich. So and I like nice things. Like I'm not shading one way or the other, right? But those busted boat shoes they wear probably cost $300, and they're gonna get every $300 out of them because they don't need to spend the extra $300 on that. So we are Annie dropped a couple things, snowball effect or avalanche effect when it comes to paying off debt. The most important thing, credit card debt particularly, the most important thing is to really get in and find out what it is. So if you haven't gone to annualcreditreport.com and pulled your credit report, so you can do that for free once a year through them without signing up for other stuff. I know some people have done Credit Karma. If you have a credit card, your bank or your credit card company may also provide a way for you to do that. But those things need to be front and center. One of the things that we did was like just print the credit report and we posted it like in our house, like everything that's on there, just get so real with it that you have no other choice but to deal with it, but to use the solution that you have in your hands to resolve it. The feeling that you have right now of either not having money, of building up debt because of Christmas, the feeling of, I remember, so my birthday is early December, then we have Christmas. My husband's birthday is early January. I remember times getting to his birthday, like, okay, like for real, looking at how much money is in the bank, how much money is left on a credit card. Like, how do we go from all of the celebration to celebration, like to get into January and not be worried about what you did in December. Okay. That's what we're going for. So with, it doesn't mean that we don't get to pay ourselves, right? My suggestion is when you budget also to pay yourself. Now, if your nose ain't above water, if you drowning, paying yourself is going to be paying off some debt, eliminating some bills. You got to get to that place, right? So don't be like, oh, I got to pay myself because I need these J's, and you're not paying your bills, right? You're not investing in your business that's going to make you money with your auto ship. Okay. That is what we invest in our business. Like you would drive to your job, like you buy a uniform, buy a shirt, buy a pants. We run our auto ship as our investment in our business because it's going to pay us, and it's going to pay you the extra, and you're going to look good and feel good at the same time. And you're helping people. So that you have to do. That is our investment in ourselves. And quite frankly, getting to use the products is a way to pay yourself every month. Having Skinny Brew and not Folgers is a way to pay yourself every month. All right. So do that. And then there is time where we get to do things for ourselves. And in addition to investing in the business, but also investing in ourselves. And we won't get much into this tonight, but in reading, in conferences, in things like that, there are ways to pay yourself that will pay you, right, from what you're building onto. But with that, with getting into paying for the extra, Toya, if you would unmute and talk about, I know that you have paid off debt. You started this business to make some extra to pay for your wedding. Why don't you share with us your story?
Yeah, hey guys. So I did. Now let me tell you, when Rachel talked to me about this business, I told her that I would never, do this. But it wasn't until I got engaged and then I seen her use this business to pay for her wedding. And I was just like, okay. I mean, I had the money, but I didn't want to have to penny pinch or change my lifestyle to have the dream wedding that I wanted. So I just remember going into like Staples because I would go to wrap parties and leave out of there with hundreds of dollars in wrap cash, and I would all have it in my little coin purse. And I remember going to Staples, and if anybody's ever got married, matter of fact, I got my wedding invitation right here. What a coincidence. So I actually made these right here. They were passports. And so literally I had to pay for the paper, I had to pay for the ribbons, I had to pay for everything. Like, it's multiple pages with color pictures. So it was pretty expensive. So I remember going into Staples and just being able to open up my little coin purse with all of my 20s and money from wraps that I had sold at wrap parties. And just being able to pay for that. Also, whenever we decided that we were going to get, oh my God, whenever we decided, okay, I'm gonna turn the comments off because I am easily distracted. So I'm gonna get off of there. But whenever we decided we were going to get married, we also went ahead and opened up our joint account. So at that point, I knew that It Works. I specifically started It Works to help pay for our wedding. So my commissions check was automatically transferred into that account. And I just remember like it growing and growing and growing and growing. And by the time it was time for us to get married, we were able to take all of that money out and go to Cabo and just pop it on the on the counter when it was time to pay for everything. So even just taking, bonuses and more wrap cash in when I went to go get my wedding dress and just being able to put that deposit down on my wedding dress, like it was such a blessing. And not to be able to have to touch our actual checking accounts. So that's kind of where I am now. Like Caritha said, Rachel wants a Peloton. I want a Peloton. I love cycling. I've been eyeballing it, but it's expensive. And yeah, I probably could go get it, but it's not a priority right now. First of all, I got to get consistent in working out before I go spend $3,000 on a bike. So, but what I've decided to do was for certain things that I want, that's not a necessity, I work for it. So like I transferred our money for our wedding, I've also like an Apple Watch. I was a Fitbit lover, but I decided that I wanted to come on over to the Apple side. Everything else is Apple. I got MacBooks, Mac computers, all types of stuff, iPhone. And so I wanted a Apple Watch, but I didn't want to swipe my debit card out of our account for the Apple Watch. So I asked people for gift cards for like, whatever came up this summer, I don't know, Mother's Day or whatever. And I made hundreds of dollars in sample cash. And so I was able to go cash out on an Apple Watch and not have to swipe my debit card. Like that was a blessing. What else? Me and my husband just went on a vacation. We did not swipe our debit card. And what I love about this, y'all, so I'm the best with money in our relationship. So when I told him, was it last month or whatever, I'm like, look, we need to find a babysitter and I want you to take me X, Y, and Z. And I was like, and I want you to go hustle up the money. You know what I'm saying? So we both like hustle basically. And so we were able to go on this trip and just really enjoy each other and not even have to spend money away, like from our 9-to-5 jobs. So even with Christmas, so we both have accounts with the business. And so what we do with his account is we don't even like cash it out. It just sits there. And the past couple years, we've literally let it accumulate all year, then we'll take it out, and that's how we will pay cash for Christmas. But this year, y'all, we didn't even have to take it out because we budgeted and we made sure that we could pay for what we wanted to pay for out of our income. So it's just a blessing to be able to set the goal. For me, when it comes to my money, I used to be like, oh, I got it, throw it in the bag. You know, I want the blue pair, the red pair, the green, every color of the shirt or whatever. And I would just buy stuff. And then I realized, like, I'm not even wearing half of this stuff. I'm just getting it because I can. And so this business literally has shifted my mindset when it comes to money. I've always loved my money, saved my money. But when I was a single woman living in an apartment, yes, I do. My closet is ridiculous and I'm throwing that stuff away. As soon as I get a chance to go up there, the comments, Rachel, stop it, please. Yeah, but see, you make me lose track of what I was saying. But basically, just tell your money where to go, y'all. Like, I was able to pay in a pandemic, being able to pay off 7 things this month between the IRS. Lord, because y'all know they don't play, honey. I had to just drop them a couple thousand, like, leave me alone, please. Credit cards, personal private student loans, like other oh my God, like, it's been such a blessing. And that's because I decided that how do I turn this off? I decided that, you know, I want to make sure that our kids, breaking generational curses. I know Caritha talked something about that. And I want to make sure that our kids don't have to go through what I had to go through. You know, from the time I was able to get a job, I felt like I had to pay for everything myself. I was 16, working, playing sports. I was a student athlete, still in high school, and I was buying everything. I saved all my graduation money to buy my first car. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I've always been very, you know, money driven and goal oriented. And I never wanted to have to ask anybody for anything. And so I know somebody was talking about the grandparents. You know, I was in college and I didn't get any help. And it was time for a bill due. My parents couldn't help me. They couldn't help that private loan that I just paid off, y'all. I was so emotional when I called my grandfather because that's the person who had to help me because there was nobody else that could help me. I was so emotional when I talked to him earlier this year. Like, I paid it off. Like, like, it's crazy. I was really, because I don't want that for my kids. I don't want my kids to have to go past me because I wasn't smart with my finances. I don't want to be in a situation where they call me like, hey, well, I need this much money for books. And I'm like, because I wasn't smart with my finances. My parents made money according to their taxes and what they put on FAFSA. They made enough to where I couldn't get no help, but they weren't smart enough with their money to be able to help me when I needed it. And I do not want that for my kids. So that I make sure that right now that we are putting things in place. And I'm not done, and I'm not perfect. I still got some stuff that I need to work on, like getting their account saved up. I got money everywhere, and I just need to get the account so I can put it in there. But so that's the thing that drives me right there. And then just ask yourself, y'all, like, you know, if you were to win that $20,000 that Mark's giving away, would you even be able to steward it? Would you be a good steward of it? Because a lot of times we get money and we've never had, like, when you start seeing those checks that's about to roll through your It Works account, you're going to be excited and you're going to just be throwing stuff in the bag and going crazy. And then you're going to look back and you're going to be like, man, but take it from us, y'all. Take it from us. Like, we are literally putting these things together to make sure that, you know, you guys don't touch the stove because we already touched it. We know it's hot and we don't want y'all to have to go through the same thing. So with that being said, I think I answered all the questions, Caritha. I get distracted.
That was perfect. So perfect. Listen, y'all, this is for real, all the juice, like the transparency of our leaders and really talking about what they've been through, where they've gotten to. Like, that shoe thing hit. Like, I had my senior year of high school, I wore the same pair of shoes and they were some little slide-ins. I'm from Detroit, y'all. This is winter time. One pair of slide-in shoes all year. So when I got so when I got a job, I got my good job and started making money. I had like over 300 pair of shoes for absolutely no reason except the fact that I had to overcome what I had experienced. We have to dig deep. We have to dig deep and understand our money mindset. And so that we can move beyond it. I was talking to my brother about Pastor Todd's FU series, and he was talking about how deeply rooted some of his unforgiveness issues were and things that he thought that he had forgiven and he had not. And what I said to him is so often we move past things and we believe that we have moved through them. We move past them and we believe that we have moved through them. And it's not until something comes up that triggers and we end up right back in that same spot that we thought we had moved, that we had gotten over, that we had gone through. We have to go through things. So getting to the root of our issues is going through them, not going past them, right? So buying any pair of shoes that I want was me going past something that was deeply rooted in my past. Understanding why I did that is me going through it and allowing me to correct it. Allowing me, even giving myself the permission and empowering myself to change it. Man, there's so much. This was so amazing. I mean, just different perspectives, and really what God can do through this business, right? So just no matter your situation, no matter if you have children or you don't, if you're a recent college grad or you're not, married or single, whatever your background, wherever you stand today, this business is giving us so much opportunity. And not only is it growing, not only does it have the opportunity to change us financially, but how we're growing spiritually, how we're growing in our mindset is priceless. Right? Like MasterCard, it really is priceless. To be part of a debt-free company, I really don't know if we always really understand what that means. But to be empowered, to be debt-free ourselves, to pay cash for our lives to look different than anybody else in our lineage, we have the opportunity to do that. That's not just about money. That's not just about dollar signs. That is what we have been called to do, to break the curses, to be world changers. And we start that. Our first ministry is with the people that are in our circle. With that, Rachel, what you got for us?
Sorry, so I don't know why it just, okay. Anyways, I'm here, yes. So I don't know, I'm just blown away. I think the biggest thing, thank you for doing this, first of all, Karitha. I think the biggest thing that I just want everybody to just grasp in this moment, actually, I want everybody to just take a moment. How about we do this? Let's do an exercise real quick. And you know what? Karitha is going to give us a prayer. So what we'll do is I'll start the prayer and then Karitha, you're going to finish and everybody's going to have to repeat after us. Kind of like the Lord's Prayer. Maybe we'll remember it. But I want everybody to just close your eyes and we're going to wing it. All right. Sound good, Karitha? All right. All right. So our Father, come on, guys, repeat after me. Repeat after me, Karitha, so I can hear somebody repeating. Go ahead. Our Father,
Our Father,
who art in heaven,
who art in heaven,
God, we thank you for it works.
we thank you for it works.
And we thank you for the ability
We thank you for the ability
to make unlimited income.
to make unlimited
income.
We know
We know
that first
at first
we must completely become you
We must
completely
become you.
in the way that we view money.
in the way that we
Way that
view
we
money.
see money.
So today,
So today,
as we just like you give us salvation
Just like you
just
give
like
us
you give us
salvation,
Give us
salvation,
salvation.
and you wipe our slate clean,
And
and
you
you
wipe
wipe our slate clean,
we are free from the debt already.
we
we
are
are
We are
free
free
from
from
the
the
debt
debt
already.
already.
We are free from the poverty mindset already.
we are
We are free from the poverty
Mindset
mindset
already.
already.
And we thank God for the riches and glory.
we
Thank
thank
God
God for the
God
for
riches
the
and
riches
glory.
and
Go
glory.
ahead, Krista.
God. We ask for your forgiveness and we accept your forgiveness
God,
God, we
We
ask
ask
for
for
your
your
forgiveness
forgiveness
and we
and
accept your
accept.
forgiveness.
for the times when we're not
for the time
For the times we're not
good stewards of what you've entrusted to us.
Good
Good
stewards of what
stewards
you have
stewards
of what
of
entrusted
you've
what
to us.
entrusted to us.
Today is day one.
today is day.
Today is day
you
one.
do.
Yes.
We will be amazing stewards of what you've given us,
We will
We
be
will be
We
We
will
will
be
be
amazing
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 stewards
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 of
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 what
what
you've
what
you've
given
given
us.
us.
giving to the kingdom,
giving,
giving to the
Giving to
kingdom,
the kingdom,
getting out of debt,
giving out,
getting out of
debt,
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 giving to the poor,
giving
giving to the
to
poor,
the poor,
and giving all glory and honor to you.
and giving
all
all
and all
glory and honor
glory
glory
and
to
and
you.
honor
honor
to
to
you.
you.
We are rich.
We
We
are
are
We are
rich.
rich.
Your word says
your word says
And your
Your
word
word
says,
says,
what we release on earth
What
what
we
we release
release
we
on
on
release
earth
earth
on earth
will be released in heaven.
will
will
be
be
will be
released in
released
heaven.
in
released in
heaven.
heaven.
In your son Jesus' name.
In your
In your
son
son
Jesus'
Jesus'
name.
name.
Amen.
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 I think it's really important. Thanks for meeting, guys. I think it's really important. That might have been real weird for a lot of people. That's fine. You know we're weird. So, anyways, I think that the biggest thing here, Caritha, for us all is to completely erase the past. And it's crazy because I think so many times we hold on to it or we're afraid to turn around and look at it, right? So sometimes it's like, well, I don't want to turn around and look at the fact that I did that. I don't want to turn around and look at the fact that I charged that. You don't want, I shouldn't have bought the car, but I did, like you don't want to turn around and look at it. But today we're going to turn around and look at it because it's the same as God giving us salvation. He's already wiped it clean. He's just waiting for us to walk in the newness that he's already given us. And in order to do that, you have to forgive yourself for what was done. You have to forgive yourself for what you did not know. You can't make excuses for what you did not know, but you have to walk forth. And that's why I love It Works, because it gives us the opportunity to teach people as we learn. Say out loud, like, there's so many people who struggle with their health and wellness, especially in our community. There's so many people who struggle with finances. Y'all know that now. Some of y'all parents still broke. My mom is still owing her student loans. And how old is she? You know what I'm saying? Like, praise God, some of my family members didn't go to college. Like my uncle, he got like a student loan of like $10,000 that he been holding on for 40 years. Like, that don't even make sense, right? So I think a lot of times when we're dealing with all of this generational things and we see nobody around us who has handled it, like most of the people that I hang around and It Works are debt free. Like most of them are already debt free, but I didn't have the foundation that they had when I came to It Works. And so when we came to It Works, it was like my perspective was It Works. So student loans they will never get my money. That was my perspective. And so I acted like that. I did. Caritha, listen, when I got paid, I could have easily paid off. We could have paid, Brianna and I could be debt free, period. Okay, period. But we didn't, it was not on our mind. It was on our mind to pay off the credit cards, and we paid the credit cards off. But the other day, it was like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like medical bills, it was like, that stuff don't even matter. Like I just grew up with all these wrong things in my head. And so I just thank God for the opportunity to get it right. And I love how graceful It Works is. Like for real, if you think that you if you've made good money and it works for whatever, $500-$600 a month, thousands a month, 10,000 a month. Like if you've been there, you can do it again. And this time, as you go through it, you'll keep it. Like you will keep it in the way, like God wants to test your heart. So he wants to see, like, if I do give you $10,000, what will happen? What will happen if I give you $10,000? And I think the real thing is, like, when we've had people bless us on such a high level, it was like, wait a second. Wait 1 second. Like, what's going on right now? Like, just even with my son, like for Christmas, he got blessed on such a high level that it brought tears to our entire family. And it was like, wait, like somebody gave this on I mean, who knows? It might have been a sacrifice. I doubt it. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody is giving on this level. And what was so crazy is the month before, we received a gift from somebody that was on a higher level last year, receiving blessings from people in the thousands. Okay. Like the holy money has been off the chain. And it was like, man, what is God teaching us here in this moment? When you get these increases, it is not for your belly. It is not for your flesh. It is not for you to go out and live your best life. Like, and to be honest, you're not even living your best life, because the Valentinos upstairs, they can't keep the lights on. Okay. I mean, I guess they can if I sell them, you know what I'm saying? They keep them on for a few months, but they, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of things that we think that we need is so materialistic. And I think it has a lot to do with who you're looking at and who you're hanging out with, because a lot of the people that y'all looking at, they don't have a house. They, like, y'all know most celebrities rent their house. They be lying. Like the people that you may be watching, they don't have a savings account. Like that's just like when, I don't even know why I know this, but maybe y'all know. That's like when Jeezy and what's the boy name got into it, and he was like talking about his chains, and what's name was like, baby, I got property. Like I don't need it.
Gucci.
You know what I'm saying? I'm good. Yeah, she know Gucci girl.
He sent the person you was talking about. He sent some people to rob Gucci, and Gucci killed whoever he sent.
Okay.
And his woman made him them
It's
millions.
all right. Yep. Thank you. I just wanted to know whose name it was. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it you got the juice. But I'm just that was so good. Oh gosh, that was so good. That was so good. Thank you for sharing that. But so yes, the whole point is we got to be good stewards of our money and do what it is that God says to do with it, because he may tell you, hey, bless the person in front of you. I've had him do that when I've been in the grocery store, and y'all, like when God say pay for their bill, sometimes you don't know what their bill is. And you be like, Jesus, wait a second. What if they be like $500? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so you just want to put yourself in a position that whenever God says do it, you're able to do it. Because a lot of times be like, God, if you just bless me, I promise I give. Oh, I wish I had to give to them. You do have to give to them. You ate out 4 times this week. And that was actually your seed. You know what I mean? So, oh, I just wish I could run my auto shipment. Ooh, boo. You got Netflix, you got Disney Plus, you got Amazon Prime, you got all of them, instead of calling somebody. Because let me tell you, with my rich self, I use somebody's Disney Plus. Okay. Like I would just be like, with the rich, I'd be like, how many people can I be on it? Lord, okay, you can use my Netflix, you use my Disney Plus. Okay, let's do it. You know, I'm the one who does the 30 days. And I just decided to keep going on Peloton. But listen, I do the 30 days and disconnect. Turn that off. Like, I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in a position to where I'm okay with not looking like what people want me to look like. That's the word. Like, what does it mean to be rich? Yeah, somebody just sent me a message and say they use my Sam's card. They do. It's okay. You can. She still got it. She got the digital one. And she just, anyways. And that's what it's like. Yes, sis, because if I needed yours, you would be here for me. So, like, that's the joys of life. I don't need to look like I'm rich to nobody. And didn't we talk about this last time, Krista, when I was talking about my uncle? No. Yeah, when I was talking about my uncle, and it was like, my house this, and I was like, do your house. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm okay with that. And you have to put yourself in a position to where you're okay with that. So maybe that's something that we need to declare, Caritha. Like, I'm okay not looking rich to you.
Yep. Mhm.
How about y'all drop that in the comments? I'm okay with not looking rich to you. And this is to everybody, to anyone. How about that? I'm okay not looking rich to you. I'm okay. You have to be okay. Because some people be like, all right, we're going to go get the J's, and be like, nah, oh, she can't afford them. She ain't really making that money.
Whatever.
And that's cool. And then for real, if people are saying that around you, you probably shouldn't be hanging around that kind of person anyway. So that's all I got.
Yeah, I'm going to say one more thing to that. I'm okay not looking rich to you, because when the Bible talks about it being harder for a rich man to get into heaven than to go through, or than the eye of a needle, there's a camel in there, isn't it? So, y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. That's the difference. So often we take scriptures have been taken out of context in a lot of our upbringing. Okay. It's not that money is evil, right? It's a resource. And thank you. A camel to pass through the eye of a needle. That's what it is. It is when we don't do the right things. Okay. When your money is more important to you than doing the will of God and why he gave you the resource in the first place. When you're more concerned about what you can do with the money for yourself than what God gave it to you for. So if you're eating out and that is not what God has ordained, and you're supposed to bless somebody, think about that. You are not in the position that God needs you to be for you to help somebody else when you're being disobedient. Who want to be that person? Because that's what it is. And he has blessed us, and he is gracious, and he is patient. So we're just going to do better. We're going to do better.
So
thank y'all so much.
Let's end with one thing. So let's end with dropping in the comments one change that you're going to make. Because I know this was big for last time. This is why Travia opened up her bank account. So drop one thing in the comments that you are going to implement tomorrow when it comes to your money mindset. I am going to drop those two. Brian actually sent me the savings that you can start for 2021 to save your money. Then you can do $1 or you can do the $5. So what is one thing? I've set up like a lot of things. And with Ally, one thing I love is that you can actually, and I'm sure there's more apps besides Ally that can do this, but we actually have a reoccurring like savings that just automatically takes out of our account every single month to go into our boys' savings accounts. And so that's automatic, and it's set to go off every month. Every month on payday, it's like a certain amount goes into our kids' savings account. So, well, everybody, and we do have the fasting coming up from the 1st to the 21st of no eating out at all. That means restaurant plus my mom calling me. The restaurant plus fast food. All right. You reading some of these things, Karitha? Yes. And another thing I do like about Ally, I don't know if y'all about this life, but it'll do a surprise withdrawal. So if it sees that you have extra money just hanging out in your account, it'll actually move it to your savings account. You can set up that feature too, so that you don't think that you got extra money. Y'all know how it is. Yep. And buckets. I love the buckets. Yep. It's so good. All right, cool, Krista.
Y'all rock. I'm going to pray really quick. Actually, we said the prayer. So thank you, God. Because we rich out here. Y'all have a good night. Love y'all.